Hey everybody, TacDad here. I wanted to do a quick overview, not really review, of the primary arms 5x prism scope with the ACSS reticle. This one right here. All these primary arm scopes are really good, really high quality. I had bought a 4x, which is on my A2 clone right here, and then I bought this 5x. And I didn't realize there was going to be a few differences between the two, so I figured I'd point these out to you guys, just so you know. First of all, the 4x, they don't make these anymore on primary arms. They're discontinued. I got a refurbished one, which they had on their website, a limited amount, so I bought one because it was at a really good price. And I liked it. I mean, I like all these scopes. Like I said, they all have this ACSS reticle bullet drop range finder. Look on other YouTube videos. This is a long explanation, but this simplifies targeting at long distances greatly. Okay, so I thought that these two scopes were going to be virtually identical, except for the fact that one was 4x and this one's 5x. Okay, first the positives. The 5x, see if I find it. The 5x lights up either in red or green. You just rotate the turret and you can have either a red or green highlight on the etched reticle. I mean, both these have etched reticles. If you lose power on the battery, you can still see it as long as it's daylight, or if you have a light source, you see it normal. But here, it's either green or red. The 4x is only red. Okay, now let's talk about the 4x. The 4x, like I said, is only red. This one, this reticle, the lines are thinner. As in, when you look through the scope, I mean, I'm not going to look through the scope because using the camera, it's going to be a pain in the neck. You may not see it. These lines, the thicknesses of them are thinner in this one than on the 5x. Okay, that's the first thing, which isn't a big deal. It's still very clear. You can see them both. This one's obviously 4x only. The reason I wanted a 4x or 5x was to put on my carry handle, because this one has a channel that when you use an ACOG mount, like there, okay, like right there, an ACOG mount, you can have the scope and there's a channel on the base you can look through and still use the iron sights as a backup. Okay, so that's the configuration I wanted to run on this one. Now, when I bought this one, you can see here, there's no channel drilled through there. That was a disappointment. I did not think that there'd be a difference. I thought these would be the same, but this does not have that channel. So obviously they're not thinking about someone putting this on a carry handle. They're thinking about someone putting this on top of a flat rail, which is fine. That's a good purpose for it, one or the other. So, but that's one thing I did not realize. There's no channel, so if you plan on putting this on your carry handle, you can't use the backup sights. So that's sort of makes your carry handle kind of useless. Might as well just take the carry handle off and put this on. Okay, so that's one thing that was different. Another thing that was different on this one, like I said, this one has the darker etchings, so it's clearer. You can see it a lot better. But the difference is on the 5x, only the horseshoe lights up. The rest of the line and the tick lines, they do not light up. On the 4x, the entire thing lights up, including the two dots here. The entire reticle lights up on the 4x, not on this one. Only the horseshoe lights up. Okay, may or may not be a plus or a minus. I mean, that's, I guess, preference-wise. I just figured I'd let you guys know the difference and, decide for yourself. This is by all means a great scope. So, but just to be aware, this is not to be mounted on an AR handle, because then you're sort of losing your backup sights. This is really good configured on a rifle with a flat rail and with offset irons. So that way you're 5x, and if you're having to defend longer distance and they start getting close, you rotate the AR, and then you have backup irons on the side, 45 degrees. So that's a good setup for this one. Okay, because of course on all these, once you 3x and above, having backup sites, I mean, yeah, you'd have to remove the whole thing. You can't just look through it because you won't see the sites at all. So yeah, if you have a A2 front post like on this one, and you put this on, if you took off the handle, you put this right on the flat top, you won't even see this. I mean, you may see a tiny blur of this, but for all intents and purposes, you won't see this. So you could potentially just put this right on top of the flat top, and this is not an issue. Now, on a 3x, you might see this a little bit more, but on a 4 or 5x, you won't see this at all. So just keep that in mind, guys, when you're trying to figure out how you want to configure your thing. I mean, I went through long processes of figuring out, okay, do I put the ACOG connection? Do I put a rail adapter and put that on top of a rail? Do I get rid of my carry handle? I mean, there's a lot of options, you know, and just depends on how you want to configure your thing. There's no perfect configuration. That's you know, that's almost close to impossible. So just things to think about when you order this one. And yes, it is very nice, very sweet one. Okay, so those are my 2 cents on this. If you want a more detailed review, obviously there's lots of good reviews on this. Primary Arms is a great company and they make great products, but I just figure I'd highlight a few of the little nuances before you guys make a purchase. Okay, guys, until next time.